Host of technical problems today.
Let's kick the Discord out. Right. Hello, everybody. You're probably hearing us now. Apologies, we've had lots of technical difficulties, but we're back. And hopefully everything's working now. So sorry, Steve, back to you.
Eris was just explaining that she'd tried to get a read of the crowd and was asking about the crowd, and as a bit of a hubbub began to form in and around the healers' huts, the shaman huts. So you would have an audience if you were going to head there.
I think
And Jim, I also said that I thought Snitch would probably go get his mom and do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Yeah, they all assemble too. There's a mix of guard, just plain civilian, mothers, kids, soldiers, yeah, all manner of people.
I think this needs to be about showing them that there's a better way, not Yarbnock's way, and that they can have a better life, but we can't afford for this to kick off. Eris, would you be willing to say some words?
I don't really know what words to say, but I can try.
This is a good point to mention. I used to have a spell that calms crowds, but I recently switched it about in my mind. It's just bad time. If there was anything that new luck will say and just kind of disappear back to the background.
I actually have that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Have what?
Calm emotions, I'm guessing he was going for.
Yeah.
I don't know why I brought it, but apparently I brought it.
If needed, I can still melt everyone in acid. That looks wrong. Yeah. Which I won't, unless you all say it's all right.
I'm hoping it is the very, very last resort. I mean, if they go for us, then defend yourselves, but...
So I can go with the acid if they go for us. But that can be my first move if they go for us.
Not everyone.
Can you point at the ones that can't kill with acid if they go for us?
Just the ones that are attacking you, but not the ones that are running away in terror.
Self-defense, Locke.
That makes sense, okay.
Locke, I'm usually with what you say, but when you say this needs to be about showing them there's a better way, isn't that what Yarbnock thought he was doing? If they aren't used to having trials, maybe just let them have this. Go on.
Well, the other option is that we tell them that he's a fraud and that he's led them astray. That the 10 towns aren't their enemies. And now is an opportunity for them to declare a new leader and to have us as ambassadors and a link to the town so that they can trade fairly and not starve.
I think that's better. We want a relationship with them after this, but I think enforcing any more of our ways on them just wouldn't be right. So, Eris, we'll go with whatever you say. Support whatever you want to do.
On this note, and apologies for interjecting again, goblins where I come from live amongst, or the rest of it, they're not really a separate group that anyone thinks they're evil. So nothing inherently about them that makes them live this way. It's just the influences they've had, possibly. So I suppose we don't want to allow them to develop that kind of culture on their own rather than trying to absorb them by our ways and customs. I think the less influence we try to exercise here, the better it is in the long run for them. I think but we're perpetuating a situation where they're being subjugated to whoever's smart enough to talk them into it. Whereas if we just let them be on their own, they might come to that on their own. Does that make sense?
It was really
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, very well said. I take that on board. So
So
should
less
we
of a
just say,
colonial approach.
yeah, I'm not, I don't want to put our values on them, but I don't want them to be robbing caravans and murdering people.
No.
Yeah,
That's-
because we never rob or murder people.
Well, we try not to be take the first strike, do we?
Really?
We
We're learning. We're learning.
I was under the influence.
For once,
Yeah.
Locke, I
wasn't.
wasn't even being mental of you.
To be fair, Locke killed most of them. I pretty
know,
much
but
missed.
Locke already knows what I feel about him. But it's very easy for us all to look at how we act under the best of lights. We're never our own enemy. We never look at ourselves and consider the torment that we have caused. You don't know the life of goblins. You don't know the life of living here and being treated the way that we're treated. So I don't expect you to really understand this. We're not bad people. There are some bad people here, but we're not born that way.
There's bad people where we all come from. That's
And
why we
nowhere
want to
else is
do
any
this right.
better.
We want to do this right. We want your people to be governed fairly. I think they should have the opportunity to trade, not raid. Maybe they don't know anything else. Maybe they don't know anything else, but it's a better way. It's better for everyone. If we can make trade deals with Durgar, then I'm sure with goblins it will be much easier.
I said this to my mom. I just want to point out, though, that a lot of people are going to look in this whole situation and go, your right isn't necessarily our right. Like, you can't just expect them to do a U-turn on how we've been living for the last few hundred years. Just because
I know, but if your people raid a caravan that I'm protecting, they can't expect me not to defend it.
But you also have to consider, why are they raiding that caravan?
Well, this
What
is
has
the whole
led
point.
to that point?
This is the whole point. Trade is a better way. Because once the killing starts, it just escalates. And it becomes a cycle. And each side kills the other because that's the way it's always been. And there's no other way. And why are we raiding the caravans? Well, we haven't got anything, and they have. And we want it. But now they don't have it. It just
Is it
goes on
always
forever.
want, or could it be need? And why do they need these things? Maybe it's because the other communities don't accept us. And it's not just the goblins that are going to have to change for this to work.
And that's why we came here. You saw the speaker was considering the deal with that he thought she thought Yarbnock was offering. You're ambassadors to Prince Shandanao. This is something that could happen. And
But
we
it's taken a disaster for this to happen. And what about if they change? What if they go back to their old ways and they don't accept the goblins anymore. And then the goblins have built a new community, a new way of living around something that is dependent on others. This isn't a quick change. This is an evolution for all of the communities. Putting so much emphasis on the goblins, well, maybe we should look at everyone and what has led us to this point in the first place. Why are we living in an eternal winter? What has led to all of this?
Well, we've been trying to look at that, and we haven't made much headway.
To be fair, Ares, I did want to kill the god. That god at one point. That was why I came here. So I am with you on this.
But what if killing the god just leaves us in an eternal winter that could never be ended?
I was planning.
I don't think. I think if we got rid of her, then we might see the seasons return to normal. I mean, you've probably seen her. It's the aurora is her. Look, we will. I know you still think of yourself as a goblin, and you are a goblin, but both part of the Breakfast Club now. And that name, yeah, it sounds pretty ridiculous when you say it out loud.
Yeah, it does.
It does, but it is ridiculous. But the weird thing is, it carries weight. As far south as Waterdeep, and now in Icewind Dale, people know the name, and they know
You
that
spent too much on merchandising.
yeah, yeah. Our brand game is effective, even if our brainstorming originally was not good. But that name means something, and it means trying to do the right thing, even when it's hard. And this isn't going to be easy. It is going to be hard. And I'm sure both sides are going to stumble and make mistakes, but it's not a reason not to try.
Well, before we go changing the goblin way of life, we need to figure out what's happening with Yardnock's way of life. So should we go do that now? We've gathered the people. I don't know whether you want to go down to the huts, or whether you'd rather do this from the concourse.
It'll probably be best to do it from where everyone can see. Is this going to incite violence, though? Are we better just to not show him and just say he was an imposter, he's led you astray?
Nobody will believe it if
Now's-
you just say it.
You need to
Now's the-
prove it.
Okay. Well, now's the time to let them govern themselves.
I think the question is, Eris, Snitch, which of you would like to take his nose and jaw and all his prosthetics off?
It just seems inhuman. It's an abomination of self to change yourself with mechanics.
Maybe we'll just let out of it. Yeah.
Are you still in the form of Yarbnock, Locke?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay.
No, but at this point, might as well change. He'll change back to looking like Locke.
Oh,
Okay.
damn it. Wait, you can just do that at will, can't you?
Yeah.
Just in case things kick off. Whilst you're still Yarbnock. Someone's got an echo.
It's probably me and my horrible internet.
Oh,
Sorry.
Echo.
Echo, 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 echo.
I just wondered about getting my shield guardian free, so if things do kick off, we don't have to try and run away with it.
Just be careful because that might be seen as quite aggressive. I think it's a good idea.
But it's mine. I found it.
Has found the thing that makes it work, so
Well, yeah, but I mean, we can probably just run off the idea that I'm taking it somewhere, seeing as I'm the one who brought it here. And
I
then
see what you mean.
Cass can just tell it where to go.
Okay. Should we worry about that if we need to?
I would say if we think it might be useful if anything goes wrong,
You
it
might
might be good to have it prepared.
you might need
As
it to
long as-
punch Snubbles' wog.
Snubbles, what?
He's the goblin that we passed on the way in, who's got a big pet wog that he rides around on. You might need the shield guardian to punch that in the face.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to
Very
work straight
nice.
away, or do you need to do something?
Don't know.
Cass, if you look under the Players tab, you already have ownership.
Hello, new baby. That echo is weird.
And if you look under features, it
It's
may
only
have
you
some things
echoing,
that
Gus.
you. It is actually, yeah.
It's only you echoing. I don't know how. You must just have a voice that Nick's mic likes.
Sorry, what did you say, Steve?
Oh yeah. If you look under features, it may have some things that you might find interesting. So there's that. Now that you're in close proximity, the bond and connection between your amulet and the guardian has kind of cast a light on any shadows of doubt or misinformation you may have had about it. You can understand it much clearer.
So would I know if we can release it? Was it in a cage? Did we say? Or was it just
No,
hanging?
it was just strung up with pieces of rope and pulleys.
Well, if we could just get it lowered onto the concourse so it's not strung up anymore, then I know I could get it to spring into action if need be. But for now, it can look like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you mind ordering that? Yeah. Yarbnocklock?
Yeah, I'm not luck.
Yarbnocklock.
You're on mute, Nick.
Apologies, I did it so that you wouldn't be getting the echo.
No worries.
You want me to what?
Just while you're Yarbnock, if you could tell them to lower down the shield guardians so it's not suspended anymore.
I see. Okay. I'm not on the map yet, so that's why I was confused.
It should be.
I was disconnected.
Oh, sorry, mate. I understand.
Yeah. I'll go up and try my best to imitate his voice. I'll turn back into him and turn my cloak and make my cloak look a little bit more like his usual clothing. Is the game supposed to be paused? It's just me.
Nope.
Thank you. So I'll walk out. Imagine that way. Yeah. Excuse me, all. Could we bring this thing down? Have heavy things that need moving.
First of all, make a performance check.
Me
Well,
and my character.
just make a performance check with disadvantage, please. Ooh.
Mate.
You see a lot of people looking at each other, eyebrows furrowed. A few of the guards sort of just on seeing your image, just immediately begin to respond just out of habit, and then kind of after a couple of steps go, whoa, something's wrong there. What's going on? So the combination of your voice, your mannerisms, the way you're speaking, and that you've asked for it to move heavy things when everybody knows that nobody could get it working. That's why it's hung up there, has severely impacted your performance there. And there is a moment of confusion. What do you wish to do in this moment, everybody?
Pull up, pull up. Low altitude.
Look is sitting here thinking through his spells and trying to
Can I
ignore
run
that
up?
big ball of acid idea.
You need to be more verbally abusive to him.
You're too nice.
What's Hazel saying?
I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna run up next to Locke and kind of be I'm gonna kind of climb up so I'm leaning over the thing. I'm like, we think we know how to get it working, but we need to get it down to try.
You make a persuasion check, please, just straight.
God, I can't even find persuade. Oh shit, I am not charismatic. Sorry, my connection seems to not want to roll anything.
If you can do it there, just tell me what you got. If you could do it on
It's
your
not.
D&D Beyond.
It wasn't rolling. Oh shit. 6.
There it is. Oh.
I've made it worse. I've made it worse.
If you look up at you, look back to Yarb Lock, look at each other, and if you pull scimitars and begin marching up the towards the concourse. However, just as you begin to panic and begin to make on the hoof arrangements and plans, you hear a voice from down below one of the huts. You heard her? Well, let's put a voice on, shall we?
You heard her. It's Eris, Stargazer. There's an instruction from the chief. Do as you're told.
Please and thank you.
There are more murmurs and chunners from the crowd and the civilians off to the side. Yeah, let's get this lowered. You know what to do? And the pulleys begin lowering. Scimitars are sheathed, but there is still a big look of confusion amongst everybody. And you get the feeling that you are on a knife edge, but the Guardian is being lowered.
This was a terrible idea, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know how to work?
Do you want me to get it up and working?
No, probably not right now, but they might be expecting it. I don't really know, but do you know how to work it if we need to?
Yes.
Do we get... Oh.
Can I respond telepathically to that?
Yeah.
Or is it a one-way thing? Okay.
Do we
I think
get
so. Lock and tell us.
Yarb not back inside and then do whatever we're gonna do.
But tied up
Feeling we're not gonna-
Yarbnock is still inside. Yarblock is on the concourse. Yeah.
Block.
Yeah, block, get in, get inside.
So there's a big shepherd's crook that comes out.
Yeah, let's go into the hut and figure out how we're going to reveal this. This feels good. This is not going to go well. Maybe you all should make a speech and then I will bring him out. In fact, I will go in and wait with him. Then I don't need to be involved in the speech. You don't need a turnip in this.
Eris is just going to be very flustered. So who's making the speech?
I'm not doing it.
I can make the speech if you tell me what I need to say telepathically while I'm doing it.
I
don't know
can
what
be
to
there with
say.
you.
Fredley does good with words.
He's too busy reading a book right now.
Yeah. He hasn't been good with words
Dear
lately.
goblins, I like books.
Yeah.
You
I'd
should
be
read
right with
books
you.
too.
I'm good with words, just don't always know which ones to use.
Yeah. I don't think you're alone today.
Tell them the truth that this gnome has been masquerading as your leader, and you're here to expose him and ask everyone how they feel he should be punished, and that 10 Towns wants to enter into discussions of trade with your people.
Maybe just call it a friendship for now. Sounds like too much change too quick might be a bit much for them to accept quickly.
Who's going to be saying this?
As I
Do
said,
the
I'm
word
not
thing.
You really don't want to say it, do you, Eris?
Just a bit scared.
Cass will crouch down.
Eris will avoid eye contact as much as possible.
Look like the artwork. Side-eyeing.
Just scuffing her feet against the ground.
I could say it. Any of us could say it, really, but it should come from someone that's from here. And I know it's a bit scary talking to all of them, but what you're doing is bringing them good news. You're liberating them. They're going to look to you as a sort of hero.
I want to be a hero, Mum. I just want to be safe.
I think the snitch will kind of like waddle up at this point, sigh, and just go, I'll rock, paper, scissors you for it, Eris.
As I said, I can do it if I need to.
I don't know how we're going to do rock, paper, scissors.
All the parchment shears. You can do rollies.
We could do rollies, that's probably easier.
It does help if your hand is visible on the camera, Jim.
Oh, I was trying.
You can each of you just roll a d20 and the highest gets to choose.
Oh,
I don't want choice. I want to be told.
Okay, well, the highest is doing it.
It gets to 20. Oh, yeah.
That's just taking
Screw
control.
bringing that 20.
Oh well, you're all doomed.
Wait, the highest does it. I thought the lowest would be doing it.
Oh.
Well, did neither of you want to do it?
I still don't
So-
want to do it.
Of course
So
not.
is a win
Realistically-
not doing it then?
Realistically, would you trust Snitch to be the person to tell everybody this information?
You
Hell
are
no.
the son
If-
of Marathi, who seems like the most
You are.
sensible person here.
And you have no filter, so you will just say whatever's in your head. You could get Locke to deliver the message. As long as you give him some guidance, he's good with words when he knows what needs to be said.
Say it together. Right.
I think Snitch is just going to scramble up to a high point that he can see, seeing as he's quite an agile little shit. And he'll just start shouting, like he'll just go "Oi!" to like start getting people's attention and like banging things so that people start
I will
looking over.
scrabble up next to him, but I will take
Okay.
a lower perch, so I'll again be like hanging over the edge.
Okay.
Huck will go back to we'll stand by the door. Just
Okay.
just signal when you want him out.
I will be in the vicinity nearby them just in case they need any help.
Goblins, go for it. You have an audience.
Well, this is going to be an awkward little speech, I suppose. Kind of like, I guess he'll be like perched upon the little hut or something. But Snitch will be like looking very awkward and kind of like fumbling with his hands a little bit. He'll be like, "Look,
I'll cast guidance.
okay, yeah, I'll probably need that." And he was like, "Look, we all know that Yarbnock, bit of a huge cunt."
There's a collective gasp.
Well, he is. Like, let's be honest, he throws people off the cliffs. It's not a very like fun way for it to go. He's been having us raiding. We've been doing work. We started off as farmers. Now we've had to build the fort. We're kind of not going anywhere, and more of people are leaving as time's going on. Which, if with all of us being goblins, that would be fair. That's fine. You know, we'll have to make do. But turns out that the arsehole was never a goblin in the first place. So we've had some gnome who snuck into town, being some prick, and generally just kind of setting us off in a warpath against 10 towns, and making us more vilified than we already were. The 10 towns actually want to have conversations to get us working together so we don't have to keep getting murdered by everyone. And you know, I'm a bit pissed off to think that my dad and my older brother's been thrown off a cliff by a gnome for no reason.
You going on about, Snitch?
Now, he'll shout for Tok to come out and bring
Yeah,
Yarbnock.
Tok will just manhandle him, lift him up, carry him out onto the bridge. All right.
Yeah. And then someone's going to have to fumble to get all of his stuff off.
I can do that. I saw Harry put it on.
There's another collective gasp.
Now, I want to throw him off the cliff, but it's probably wiser and a bit more of a, diversion from his old, you fucking do what I say or you're going off the cliff attitude, if we all collectively decide if he's going off the cliff or if we're kicking him out or what the fuck's happening. So yeah, what do people want to do with him?
How long's he been here?
Well, he's always been a gnome.
I'll pull his nose off. And then an ear.
Is that a
And
goblin?
the other ear.
It's a gnome! I hate gnomes.
Now, it's not that he's a gnome. Well, it is that he's a gnome, but it's not. We don't have to be angry at all gnomes.
I've heard gnomes don't feel pain.
Now that is just stupid.
We can test it. Yeah, let's test it.
Stop. You're not all thinking straight.
He's an asshole.
He is an arsehole, yeah. that
Yeah.
one at least has the right idea.
Perhaps you should decide who will lead you moving
He
forward.
threw my sister off the cliff.
Then
Make him
is it
walk. Walk of doom.
Okay, stop. Everyone stop. When I left here, I was scared that no one was going to accept me. Because I am a goblin. Just as you are, and unlike him. And people think a lot of things about goblins. And most of it's untrue. Most goblins that I know are not unkind. They are not mean. They are not horrible creatures. And I am hoping that you will all act with the wisdom and kindness and understanding and maybe just, a pinch of the rationality of a normal goblin. That would be useful, please. Thank you. But I understand if everyone decides to throw him off a cliff. I do. Because I understand he, of anyone, deserves that. But also, I don't want us to all be as bad as him. There are other things and other ways that we could deal with this that would be more appropriate as to who we were before we came here. Did we throw people off cliffs before Yardlock?
No, but we've always been raiders and bandits.
But we now have other options. Maybe we were raiders and bandits because that's all we had the choice of being. We have a wealth of history and knowledge that we can draw on. We can benefit from relationships and communities. Why don't we do that? Rather than being dependent on what caravan or carriage passes by.
What else have we got?
We could have consistent trade.
We've got nothing to trade, only what we steal.
We could work on what we can grow. I've learned things while I've been out there. We could work on growing things from the soil, even in the winter. Even without the sun, we can work together and we can make things. Just within this community, we have so many different people with different skills. We could use that. We could help others, and in turn, they could help us. We can bring back those that are out there in the world who have abandoned us because of him. We can make
Persuasion with
ourselves
advantage,
stronger.
please, Hazel.
Good. So I have no idea what I'm saying next.
And your guidance.
Cass is wiping a little tear from her eye.
Let's go out there all the time anyway. Most of us could work pretty well as scouts for 10 Town, so they'd probably pay up for people who go and stick their noses out.
Yeah, I'm sure you know your way around here as well as any guide.
One of them was so close to a fucking 20 as well. I was so sad.
Was that 16 did I see there, or was it 17?
It was 17 minus 1, so it's 16 total.
16
My
total.
persuasion
Okay,
was good.
okay, that's not bad.
I just think that we could do better if we worked together.
Instead of raiding them, we could escort them.
And you could help with hunting and fishing and gathering.
I always used to be a pretty good fisherman. So we moved away from the water.
But now,
Well, if you-
if we have links to the towns, we'll be able to go to the lakes.
Yeah, they might let you fish on the lakes. Knucklehead
I'd love
trout.
to have a go on those lakes. Never been near them before. Are you still going off the cliff?
Well, if that's what everyone decides, then that's fine. But I just don't want us to decide that just because of an angry reaction. I want us to consider any and all options other than torture. Just making that clear. But he could be imprisoned. He could enter into indentured servitude. He could...
He's pretty good at building things.
He is. He did...
Yeah, but he's a
create-
dick.
Yeah, I can't argue that. If you want, you can throw him off the cliff. If you want, I can give him to the moonlight. If you want, we can imprison him. Or if you wanted, we can make him work.
Well, I don't trust him anymore.
Or we could leave him out in the wilderness.
Yeah, you could exile him.
He'll just head back to 10 Towns.
We'll make sure that he's got no home in 10 Towns.
I would just be worried that he would find another clan or another group. But it's an option. And I'm hoping that you could all maybe take a night to think about it. And then we could vote on it. And by
What's a
vote, I
vote?
mean that... So each of you gets to... So that there'll be like 4 options. And then each of you gets to pick one option, and whichever option has the most picks. And that's a vote, and then the most vote is what we go for. So the majority rules.
I'll never catch on. Try it!
But so we can get little bits of paper, and then we can write down all the options. We can put little boxes next to them, and if you like mark a box, and then we can count them all up. And I think it could catch on. I think if it's done in the right way, we could probably set up little stalls and little stands that like divide into 4, and you get a little corner that you. Sorry, I've gone off.
I love democracy.
Boiled paper.
Read.
The only problem
Um,
I can think with that system is people with like me who aren't very clever get a vote too.
Well, you can spend the evening sharing stories and making sure that everyone is fully informed to the best of our abilities. It's still fair that anyone who might not feel as if they know everything, you still get a say because your voice is still valid. and we want to hear what everyone says. And yeah, if you think that he should be covered in honey and then buried up to his neck in a desert, even though we're in the middle of a never-ending winter, that could be a perfectly valid argument or idea, and you still get to have that, and that's okay.
And if you have another idea, you can put it on the side of a caravan and then drive it around. It doesn't even matter if it's true.
I think it depends on the purpose as to whether it matters that it's true. And Locke, maybe don't give them ideas.
I
I
could
just
just
think
turn to
this is
Cass and go, "What's happening?"
this is a lot what you're asking of them. I think I just don't see this group, and Locke just looks down. No offense to either of you, I don't see this group getting to that point as quickly as you're hoping to. You're probably going to confuse them, and they're not going to understand the process of the voting. And the ones that lose the vote, they're probably going to try to kill the people that win the vote, or say that the vote was the elections were stolen. And it's just this is quite unstable. I don't think that's the best thing for your people. I think replacing this leader with someone a little bit more kind right now is a better option than trying to educate the next generation, getting these people to vote. I think we're all going to die if this happens while we're here.
At the moment, I thought that we could just keep the voting to Yarbnock, and what happens. I think the leadership might be a later discussion.
Booyahs will
I-
probably handle that.
What if the
I
boo?
have to say, I find myself agreeing with Locke. You should let your elders and your wise people choose what happens to him.
I was going to say, what if the vote is the Booyah's vote?
Well, that's kind of elitist, really, isn't it?
No, it's respecting your elders who have lived long lives and have seen more
Those who were
and have
born
wisdom
into
to
wealthier
share.
families.
What are they saying now? I can't hear at the back here. They've gone all quiet. Hey, what's happening up there?
I think you should
Is he going
nominate
off
a
the
new
cliff?
leader first.
We're trying to
Yeah.
figure out who should be in charge.
And I take back my opinion because this is all a bit real, and this means we're giving the baby boomers the vote. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
was
Why are
amazing
they
when
trying
they
to
said
decide
it.
who's leading our clan?
Because I'm part of it, you fucking dipshit.
He makes a good point. Yeah, he does, to be fair.
Didn't expect that would work, to be honest.
We're not deciding who your leaders are, you are.
They're just discussing it. But would it be fair to say that having representatives that represent a part of the community be able to speak on the majority's behalf? So
That's
could
called a
the-
chief.
Well, there'll be a couple of them.
Couple of chiefs.
Yeah.
Like a council.
You need them to be odds so they can break ties. So 3 of them at least.
Yeah, 3 maybe.
There's just a whole host of chundering, and as you've been talking, the sort of hubbub and the chatter has gotten louder and louder, and it's all just people have broke out into their own kind of private conversations of groups of 3 and 4, and there's some other groups over there, and they're all chattering and almost not listening to you anymore. They're all sort of discussing.
Eris kind of falls back a bit and she's like, I knew I shouldn't have been allowed to talk.
You did a great job. I just think you're asking too much of these people. No, again, no offense.
It's a big change. Just like you said at the start, it's a big change. Maybe it's too much too soon. But you have got, I'm sure you've got goblins here who are ready to lead.
I think Martha,
Maybe
Marty, and one who probably represents the the warriors, the fighters. That would be a good. So then there's community, there's the booyards, and then there's security.
Do you have any specific people in mind?
Just Marathi and Maravek. I don't really know that many people. I just kind of had to stick to.
I think
first
Locke's
just
point
the
about
booyards,
having
and
3 is good, so
it's
that
important.
you
We
don't
could
have a
ask.
stalemate.
We could probably ask Snubbles. He's the only one who's respected enough that no one's tried to steal his fucking work in a few years.
That might work.
He's a dick, though.
Well, I generally get from the other places that we've been. I thought that was kind of a requirement.
And to be fair, you think everyone's a dick, so that doesn't really help us.
I don't think everyone's a dick. That's.
You do a little
I
bit.
don't be judgmental, you bastard.
Yeah, Cass looks heartbroken.
No, I think you're the exception, Cass.
I'm Fred Reader.
And Threadreader, maybe.
Threadreader's alright.
Yeah.
Where do you want this conversation to go from here? Do you want them to be going off having these conversations, or do you want them to make a decision here and now?
I think to expect them to make a decision here and now is a little bit unfair, but it might also be the safest. So we could ask about having someone from each section of the community, and maybe even put forward. Is Snubbles' name really Snubbles?
No, it's I'm stuck. I just call him Snubbles to piss him off.
That is not going to help this conversation, Snitch.
Well, I paid him off, so part of the terms there was I would stop calling him Snubbles.
And you've already
Right.
gone back on that one then.
Oh, yeah, I'll not call him Snubbles to his face.
Oh, okay. But behind his back's fine.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't have to know about that.
That is a huge thunderous rumble, almost like the top of a mountain's being sheared off, and instantaneously, brightest flash, chain lightning arcs across the sky, and you see Manafek limping forward out of a hut, and the crowd has gone instantly quiet. The sky's darkened as the clouds loom overhead. She bangs a staff down on the floor, and old chicken bones and teeth rattle on the top in the wind.
Bit dramatic.
Every stands up straight up.
The gnome will die.
And then Marathi steps forward, kind of, not sure, bit of one of those, and sort of puts up behind his shoulder.
Got gold? These people, they're not lying. Where do you think all this came from? These know how to get it. Trade. It's not bullshit. Plenty more where this came from. This is trade.
And the clamour and murmur begins to pick up again, a little bit more subdued now, as the clouds begin to part a little bit and the brightness increases again, the weather starts going back to normal. And the crowd is sort of splitting into two. You pick up snippets of conversation. One half is sort of talking about the gold, where it's come from, how they're going to get more. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get a piece of that. The other half is, where is he? Where's the gnome? Where's the gnome? Looking for him. He's over there. Let's go and get him. Let's go and get him. And there's a sort of various goblins are kind of breaking off and heading towards Spellix.
Well, I'm still holding him, so.
We need to keep order. Can we get Eris, Snitch, who are those that spoke out? Would they be on the council? Can they come up here, address them?
Well, the one with the money bag is my mum.
Your
Your mum's-
wait, which one? And she was like,
I thought her beard looked familiar.
I'll fucking stab you in your knees again.
and the other one was Manifest. They were not my parents, but they kind of taught me.
Well, they commanded the crowd, so Cass is just gonna go lean over the side. Manifest! Snitch's mum!
Her name's Marathi.
Marathi!
You will see 2 goblins turn round in the crowd,
Could you come up here, please?
and they will begin making their way up.
You should ask them to pick a bird. They might know the community better. Oh no. No, she does not have it going on.
You might do.
No.
You never know, she could be quite a looker for an old bag.
But yeah, for a goblin, you know, she may
Stop
be.
with the interspecies lust.
He's a gilf.
There's no lust from.
Yeah, we went there. And in short order, the 2 gilfs are in front of you.
I guess I will offer to hand over Abnock.
Wait.
I can't remember his name.
This isn't the full council yet.
Oh.
I guess, can we just explain this idea of a council and who would the third be, and can they keep everyone from trying to just exert their own idea of justice?
Well, I think Snubsock would be a fine choice.
And she looked up to Manafak. This is Marathi speaking. Says,
You see, he's not very bright, but he's very strong, and all the other fighters and warriors seem to respect him. But there's 3 of us, and we'll always outvote him, so seems to work for me.
and Manafak just nods.
What was his name?
Nubsuck.
I'm sorry, Nobsuck. No.
Snub.
That's not much better.
No.
Oh, I'd have been calling him if he was Nobsnuck. I'd have been calling him that all the time. Wow, that's a pretty good option. I can't call him Snubbles anymore.
It's like, oh, you can think of new ones though.
I mean, I the second thing I thought he said was nutsack, so there's plenty of options. Cass has found what she's good at, so she's going to shout for I can't say it.
I'm stuck.
Nubsuck.
Is it stuck or snuck?
Suck.
Suck.
S-U-K.
Snitch will shout after him. He always seems to be able to attract his attention.
Because you call him Snubbles.
I won't call him Snubbles. I'll call him his actual name.
Yeah, he's easy to pick out. He's still on the top of his wag in the crowd, trying to maintain a little bit of order, but not really doing much. Yeah, he hears you and approaches.
Get up here, you little shit.
Okay, I guess what we've been discussing is the idea of you three representing different parts of this community, speaking for them, and instead of having one leader, having, well, a council, 3 of you, to discuss decisions like what do we do with Yarbnock. So I feel we should decide that pretty quickly because the crowd is getting...
Well, I'm in. Sign me up. The best person for the job. I'm the strongest.
Okay, good. Then what would you do with Yarbnock?
And he looks over to Manafek.
I'd probably throw him off the cliff. That would be my decision.
And Manifek, is that what you would do?
She just nods.
And Snitch's mum, whose name I refuse to learn.
He has got it going on.
Moratti.
Well, I do feel it might be a bit of a waste. He's a dick, but pretty clever. Maybe he's too clever for us. Be on the safe side. Toss him over.
Then would you 3 like to announce this decision to everybody?
Snitch starts like happy dancing in the background. Yeah.
No offense, tall one. I think it's already been announced.
You look at the crowd getting closer.
Just to make it official and like it's coming from somewhere rather than everyone gets to...
Keeping us a bit of official business.
So Snubsock will sit up tall on the back of his wag and announce.
Yeah, as I have decreed, the gnome will be punished for his crimes.
What's that?
As the council.
The council has decreed. As the council has agreed, I have decided that he will go off the cliff.
Wait.
Council.
Wait.
At this point, there is you're knee deep in goblins at the moment, Tok. Nobody's trying to climb up you or anything, but they are looking at you expectantly.
I'm kind of holding him quite high at the moment.
Yeah.
So what do I do? Lower him down into them and let them deal? Snitch?
Well, I'd like to be involved in the throwing, but yeah, I think the best thing you can do is just let him crowd surf all the way to the edge.
Yeah, we should just lower him down to the crowd then.
Oh, this just seems so cool.
That's
I know,
pretty much
it's
what
horrible.
happens. He reaches the crowd and he does begin to surf and bob, and he's conscious, gagged, bound. He's wriggling a little bit, trying his best to escape, I suppose. Snitch, I guess you're trying your best to follow along if you want to try and be involved.
He's probably one of the people carrying him.
Right, fair enough, yeah. About 100 feet or so in, you hear sort of hard cracks as you presume clubs or staves or things are being involved. Another couple 100 feet, and you see Orm does stop moving quite so much. It's less resistant and more being carried loosely. And by the time it comes to the edge of the cliff. There is no real kicking or screaming or muffled screaming, and they're just legging a winged off the side.
I think Snitch will be involved there, and he goes, "When you get to the bottom, tell Lank and Greg and Dak I said hi," and then just
Lanky Greg.
Lank and Greg and Dak. I'll put the names in the chat. So you.
No, I'm quite happy with Lanky Greg now.
There is a cheer that erupts. People begin hugging each other. Some people are crying, openly commiserating each other for the loss of loved ones in the past, that they may not have been able to publicly share that emotion in times gone by, but now they can. And there's a whole sense of mixed emotions from grief to sadness to joy, elation, relief, hope, worry, despair at the future. There's a whole host of emotions running through this crowd right now. But all in all, peaceful. You look at each other.
How high is this cliff?
Hundreds of feet.
If Cass sees Eris crying, she'll wander over the whole time, diverting her eyes from this mob just. And if Eris lets her, she'll hold her, but you'll hear her under her breath muttering some sort of prayer to Lavanda for this poor soul that's just been thrown off a cliff.
Lynched.
Yeah. Yeah, Eris will let that happen.
Small goblin arm also comes round you from the other side, Eris.
You were always one to gaze at the stars, Eris. Maybe you chose not to see what was down here, the reality. But this is our life. Despite this, don't stop looking at the stars. And we'll try to remember to.
Manapek disappears back into the crowd.
Snitch will waddle up a moment later. Just back and rejoin the group.
Eris will just cry throughout the entire encounter.
Puck will wander over and sit next to Eris. And he won't do anything really, he'll just sit and look out over the cliff and just sit next to her, not say anything.
After a while, she will say, "We need to be careful. We don't know how the next few hours or next few days are going to be. Violent against violent."
So I'm not disappointed with the way that went, but he said we would let your people decide, and they decided. Well, sounds like he did that to a lot of others, so. It's justice of a sort.
It was what he deserved. I just worry about what it means for the future of this group, these goblins.
I think it was something they all needed. a lot of people now finally getting to mourn all their family members and friends that got thrown off the cliff that they weren't allowed to back when it happened. Because even that was something that was punishable. So I think everyone's kind of already forgotten that he's gone. They're just kind of like contending with the fact that, you know, they can kind of like remember the family members they had, finally, without getting smacked about or thrown off a cliff for being sad about it.
I actually look up to Cass and be like, could we have a funeral for all the others?
Yeah, is that something that your people usually do?
Oh, it's not something we've ever done, really, since Yarbnock's been here, I don't think.
But we've just had a trial and we've not had one of those before. And it might be nice for them for everyone to see that they're not the only ones mourning.
It's a really lovely idea. Why don't we talk and I can find some wood and we can build a small pyre, and if you spread word that there's going to be a ceremony to say goodbye to the loved ones they lost, maybe if they bring tokens that belong to them or that remind them of them, we'll have a moment for them later this evening.
We'll do that. And Eris will then make herself busy going to tell people and spread word. Try and end the day as a community.
That is well received. You get no pushback on that. Everybody has got their own different feelings, but everyone is glad Yarbnock is gone. And they seem to recognise that you and your group facilitated that. Hasn't gone unnoticed by anybody. So you have some favour here amongst camp. And you sense that there'd be no objection to you staying here if you needed to for however long you wanted to.
Now we've just got to organise a funeral with only a couple hours' notice.
Well, I mean, it just depends what sort of effect you're trying to go to. If you want to, I mean, there's no bodies to speak of to burn, so it's more symbolic, I guess, and how you want to do that. Whether you collect all the tokens that Cass mentioned before and burn them, or bury them, or make a cairn, or however you want to go for it.
Can't really offer anything in the way of rights, or I'm not really educated enough in the ways of Torm, but I could say some words. It helps.
Are we montaging to a couple of hours later?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to make you roleplay that. It was just to give you an opportunity, if you wanted to describe what the ceremony consists of, or we just say that it happened and we skip time to wherever you want to.
Is there a place, Eris and Snitch, where we could, if people wanted to, bury these tokens like a grave, so there would be somewhere to come visit and remember?
I don't know. Maybe, but this wasn't our home before he came, so I don't know whether people are going to want to stay here or not.
You could put it in front of the walkway to the cliff. I mean, that's where they all went, so...
Yeah, we can gather them there. Cool, then I'll... Yeah, like we would have done, like, in... where were we? Goodmead, where we made that pyre. A smaller version of that. As you said, it's just symbolic. We don't want to waste wood. And Cass will stand next to Eris and Snitch, whether they like it or not. Like, and I guess address anyone that's there. Where I'm from, I am a cleric of Lavanda, who we see as the god of rebirth, of new beginnings. Tells us that out of death comes life. I'm not saying that any of you have to think as I think, but I think we can all agree we all grieve the same. I just wanted us to take a moment to remember the people that we lost as a result of this tyrant. A moment of contemplation, remembrance. That I believe my friends have told me you haven't had the opportunity to have. And say goodbye in your own way. Whether that be letting go of these tokens that you've brought along by placing them on the pyre, or burying them so that if you need to return here and think of those loved ones again, you have a marker of sorts, a place to remember. Just slip into cleric like, and let us pray.
Very nice. There's a few people there, kind of milling around amongst the braziers and campfires, and they hear you speak and they kind of drift to a stop and a halt and kind of turn and listen. And then by the time you've finished, there's a respectable crowd there, not a massive crowd, because you're speaking relatively quiet and calm over the wind in the mountains still blowing through, so your voice doesn't travel particularly far, but seems to be appreciated by all those who hear. And you can see on a lot of the expressions of the goblins that are listening, it's what you're saying and the concepts that you're saying seem quite normal and natural to you. It's revolutionary. It's quite a god, yeah, to think about it that way. Typically for goblins, 1 day's meat, 3 days stink. That's dead people to goblins. So this is good. So, go on.
Oh, just to drag out that RP, I was going to say quietly after a moment to Snitch and Eris, did you lose anyone to Yarbnock?
Didn't really have anyone to lose.
Well, he threw my older brother and my dad over.
I'm sorry, Snitch.
So why I was pretty keen to see him thrown.
I don't know a lot about what comes after been dead myself. I don't really recall, but the time that I've spent with you all, I've seen just how precious those bonds of family and loyalty are. I see you and your people so differently now. And I saw the sorrow in all those faces. They could finally express that loyalty and that love for those that had gone. And I know enough about Torm, the gods, to know that that kind of love and loyalty does not go unrewarded. And they will have a place after, I'm certain. I know it in my heart. So just try and rejoice in what was, because you'll see them again.
It's gonna come back.
Not exactly.
But what if he does? What if he reanimates and he comes and he gets us? What if he kills me in my sleep?
He's not coming back. And if he does, I'll kick the shit out of him.
Throw him off the cliff again.
Okay.
I got lots of stamina. I can just keep throwing him off the cliff. It's not a problem. It's not the point of that. That wasn't what I was getting at. For good people, there is a place. He wasn't a good person. I don't know where he'll go.
I don't know if I think they go anywhere. I'm okay with that. There doesn't need to be anything for him after. At least if there's nothing, there's no pain.
I know there's not nothing. It's not nothing.
Yeah,
Good
well, you
people
came
like
back.
you. Yeah, I
That
came
got
back
taken
because
off
the
again.
gods deemed I needed to come back. Gods that I know, Lathander and Torm, they wouldn't send Yarbnock back. He's not worthy. He wasn't fighting a good fight.
When I die, I'll go to the stars.
I don't doubt it. If it's before I go, then I'll look for you. Every night. I'm sure that is a long way off. I don't know how long goblins live, actually.
Probably not as long as you.
Well, flames that burn bright and all that.
After this conversation and in the couple of hours before all of this, Eris will find a quiet spot away from people and she'll just kind of settle down, and it'll probably look like she's meditating. She'll do this for 8 hours in total, and in doing that she will cast plant growth as a special, so that should then enrich the land, and so all plants in a half-mile radius centered on a point within range, so wherever she's at, will be enriched for 1 year, so the plants will yield twice the normal amount of food when harvested.
Nice.
That might not be much, but it might be something, so it should
Nice.
hopefully give them a little something to start trading with.
Okay, noted. Good. Good goal.
And she won't tell anyone about it. she'll just hope that they'll think it's some kind of miracle and that it came from the change.
Okay. Very possible. Nice. Were you looking to settle down for the evening? Or looking to move on anywhere? Any more travelling?
I think Snitch would probably take a moment to introduce everyone to his family.
Bastard.
Hello, Snitch's mum.
And my 5 other siblings.
Oh, wow.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
There's a lot of you.
I can see the resemblance. There's definitely a family resemblance. And you've all got the same ears
There.
and beard.
My brother's Degs, Slat, and Grabok, and my sister's Thengy and Perks.
Got great names. Perks.
With an X.
With an X, because they're cool.
Nice. Nice.
Are any of them particularly young, or are they all adults?
A few of them are probably early teens.
Or the ones that just grunt as an answer?
Yeah. Well, I thought so, yeah.
So unfair.
The lads.
Another montage where Cass gathers round them and wants to know their hobbies, how they're doing at school, realises school isn't a thing, works out whether they can read, starts teaching them to read, realises they don't care, and just inserts herself into Snitch's family.
I imagine Threadreader doing a C-3PO in the Ewok village, telling the story and doing the sound effects
Yeah,
of your past
using,
adventures.
Thaumaturgy and prestidigitation to do the effects.
It's all in my next book.
Oh, and while all that's going on and people are meeting the family, he'll probably kind of give Eris a nudge and be like, I know you don't really have, many people who are living in town, but, well, I think Marathi liked you enough, and you've been travelling with us for a while, and I think you're all right. So if you ever need anywhere when you're back here, I think with my dad and my brother gone, I think there'd be space enough for you if you needed one.
Very kind of you, Snitch. Not really had that much of a home before.
Well,
Or
there's
a
also a
family.
place. There's also a place in Waterdeep that you would be very welcome at.
What is Waterdeep?
You
It's
know,
a city.
Brinchander,
City. Yes.
that's a city. Well, no, it's a town. A city is 20, 40, 60 Brinchanders, but all together. That's where I'm from.
That's huge.
Why do you need that many Brinchanders?
How's a lot of
Good
people?
question.
Why do you have that many people?
It's not as cold as it is up here.
Very
There's
easy
more
to
people
grow
living
food.
there.
Very easy to grow food. It's just farms as far as the eye can see outside the city. But we have a tavern.
Does food. They've got so much food. They need all that food.
Well, most of it gets eaten, but the problem has been getting food up here. The roads have been hard to pass.
Waterdeep. And you see neither
Waterdeep.
Lake look for a second. Shit! Believe I left a girlfriend back there.
Were you official?
Don't know. I'll be right back. And you see him going around the corner and casting sendings, but like, you will not believe what happened.
He's just updating his status on Facebook.
No, there was a thing inside me. No, it wasn't another person. I did not. And yeah, a few castings of sending try to explain the situation.
Yeah.
I've forgotten her name. I need to go back on my notes.
I have as well.
It was only 2 years ago.
Wow, that was quite a while ago.
Well, actually, more like a year, wasn't it? Because it was right near the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Wasn't it?
yeah.
Wasn't it the Black Viper?
It was
Yes,
the
it
Black
was.
Viper.
But what's her name?
Esvel Rosnar?
That spell sounds familiar.
I think
It probably wasn't that long
Esvel.
ago in game time.
No.
It's probably a month
Yeah.
or so.
Esvel.
I'll be fine then, I'm sure.
Yeah. Neven stroke Locke's girlfriend. The most skilled assassin in Waterdeep. Doesn't have pick 'em Locke, doesn't
He
he?
does pick them, yeah. Good choice.
You could ask him about tackling.
Yeah. Is tackling just a alter ego of Locke then?
No, in my head, tackling and Locke used to date at some point.
Oh,
I
no.
see.
Oh, dear.
Says a lot about Locke, doesn't it?
Campaign.
Tackling's way to come back.
I mean, I'm okay with the dating thing. It's the personalities involved that make me just go, oh, oh no. Okay. Solemn evening comes to an end. You can either choose to spend the rest of the evening with your family, in the case of Snitch, I guess, and Eris, if there's people you know, you need to catch up. The rest of you can, I guess, make do in Abnock's old quarters, in that hut there, in that building up there where the table where you had the meal. A lot of the doors are locked and what have you, but the main dining room where you had the meeting is still accessible. You can kick some of the shit out the way and some of the rotting food into the corners and roll your bedrolls out if you need to. And if there's no activity from anyone in the evening, watches or conversations, you can all go ahead and take a long rest.
Can we bring the thing, the Guardian in with us? Just because I'm a bit paranoid of someone just walking off with it, and even though it's very difficult to walk off with.
It won't fit. It's large.
Stand it up against the door.
Yeah, well, the only way up onto the level you're on is via ladders at the front gate.
Fine. When it's quite late and most people are asleep, I'll go down and get him.
Okay. Instructed him to climb up the ladders, or?
Yep. Wake up.
Yeah. Okay.
Follow me.
It does so. It whirs, clanks, looks at you, almost feels like it's making eye contact, even though it has no eyes. It's more like a helmet, like a suit of armor helmet. And if you imagined eyes, you would imagine it's sort of a connection with you, Cass, more so than an inanimate suit of armor. And you can feel its presence. And after less than a second, it realigns itself, looks for the ladders and heads over. They creak. In fact, I'm going to roll.
You've just destroyed our town.
They hold.
They didn't like the fort anyway.
They hold. Yeah, and a lot of the walkways creak as it's kind of moving over. Then these walkways and structures are designed for gnomish and goblin physiques, not for large constructs. But yeah, thankfully, Yarbanock did have some skill.
When it gets to outside where we are, I will instruct it to stamp its feet if someone comes.
Okay.
That's going to destroy the town.
I hope you know what you're doing with that thing.
I have no idea.
It's going to come in handy.
Or it's going to kill us all.
It kind of shuffles, stomps, and turns its back to the main doors of the building. And then you just see its helmeted head just kind of slowly scan left and right. It just continues to do that for hours and hours and hours.
Such a good boy. I found my stool.
Challenge accepted.
There'll be a random NPC that murders it.
Yeah.
Can I do one more thing that I've been meaning to do for a while that Nick has reminded me about?
Sure.
You're going to message Bonnie.
Yeah, I haven't used any spells really, so I've got sending. Hi Bonnie, how are you? And the kids and the business. We're okay. Towns is struggling, but we're helping. Miss you. Okay.
Yeah, you hear a reply from Bonnie.
You had 3 left. You could say, "Are you pooping?"
Are you pooping?
No. Cass has got too much class for that.
Yeah. What would she say? Tavern's doing great. Really busy. Summer's finally passing. Getting cooler. Everyone's okay. Even the kids. And Volo. And Floon. Miss you. Hope to see you soon.
I'll pass on to Locke and Tok. That's going to get confusing. All of that.
That's good news. It's good to know that it's still standing and she's still there. And the kids are okay as well.
What I found weird was her saying that summer's just finished, and I can't remember what summer feels like.
No, neither can I.
Yeah, you're actually in the month of Flame Rule, which speaks for itself.
It's literally the hottest month, and
Pretty much.
it's kind of weird to think that it should be summer. There should be greenery here now. The reindeer herd should be migrating.
How long are we planning to stay up here since we're on it?
As long as it takes to bring the end to winter.
Do we have a plan for that?
Well, we do owe Velin a favour. We agreed to, what was it, Codicil?
Codicil of the White.
Vessel of the White.
But I think we should do what you said. We should try and end this winter. That's why I came back up here. I'm sad to say that we haven't really. I mean, we've encouraged people to light fires and we've brought back superstition, but the winter's still here.
We've got her attention.
The problem is we have two potential. Well, there's a potential for killing her. Which is the thing that inside me, so there's two things, I suppose, and I do feel like one of them is my responsibility.
You think we need to find whatever that is?
I think it can immediately I think it'd be quite dangerous for a lot of people. All it needs is someone willing to accept its power, and I was. And well, look what I've done. Look what I could have done. Who came here a few days ago? I might have burned all of them. Every single
Yeah.
goblin in this establishment. And I had you there to keep me from doing the more. Someone else might not.
How do we find it?
Really don't know. Can try to message it. Don't know what it would say, but maybe it will listen.
I'm guessing that
Fantastic
lantern
indeed.
that we've got's no good for finding it.
Is it an elemental?
It is not.
It is not. What is it?
I believe it's an aberration.
Is there a way to track one of those?
I don't think we track it. I think we lure it. I think if it doesn't want to be found, it's not going to be found. But it can find us, I'm sure.
What is it that it wants? You were joined with it. I know you said it wanted to kill the Frost Maiden. Is that because it seeks power?
Well, it's they are gods. The thing that it is, they used to be gods. They used to be revered as gods, and then they kind of fell out of power. I think it would seek power. It would see an opportunity, power here, and it would take it.
Could
So-
this thing be going after the very same things that Velin is going after? Because Velin was talking about an ancient city filled with powerful things, potentially, from an age gone by. Could this thing seek those too? Could it
Not
be on its way
impossible.
there now?
It's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's doing that or trying to find the Ice Queen, Frost Maiden, whatever it is. Either of those is likely. I'm just wondering what our next step is after this.
Well, I would very much like to go and see this Jalmut that Giselle keeps yammering on about.
Well,
And
that would be on the way back.
That's what Velen wanted us to do, and I have a feeling Velen and your aberration, the paths may cross, and therefore let's keep helping Velen to an extent.
Yeah, we don't want that thing getting at Velin or Dazan, do we? I mean, those are individuals who seek power. I can't remember what their order was called. And Threadreader very much dislikes them.
The Arcane Brotherhood.
That's the ones. So maybe this is a good opportunity to keep an eye on Velin. I mean, we have to bear in mind that whatever Locke or Neva knew, this thing knows. So I guess it knows about this codicil now. What else does it know about?
I've done some dodgy stuff, but nothing that would relate to it. We've made quite a few friends up here, Talk, haven't we? Illinois.
We have. I think we've made more friends than enemies, I'm glad to say.
It's very unusual for me. I'm not really sure what to do with this.
You mean?
I've never stopped before to feel guilt. I just moved from point A to point B. And when either of those points gets compromised, I just find the point C and just keep going.
I can
So-
see why it would be nice to be able to drop any guilt or the things we regret. Most of us don't have that luxury. But if you can endure it, then I genuinely think the mistakes that I've made, I came through a better person because of it. I think they make me stronger. Abandoning them is easier, maybe, but you don't learn from it.
It's how you grow as a person, not turning into another one.
Yeah, build upon what's there. Learn who you are. Tok will wrap his cloak around Eris.
It's just I've not. This is the way we live. I've not known another way. But what Eris did, trying to. I just think maybe there is a way to live a different life, regardless of who I am or the people I come from. I think if she's gonna try for them, then I should try for myself, right? And if she's different than them, then I can be different than my people.
You more than anybody can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? You can be whoever you want to be, then you're never held accountable. I think what I intend to do from now on, I'll do it in this form. And try to, as you said, build on luck rather than anybody else.
That's the only way you're going to learn who you are and what you want from this life. I know it's not been easy up north. I've always appreciated that you came when I asked. It means a lot.
I came from my own reason stock. I'm giving you too much credit on that.
I appreciate your honesty.
It's not easy. I had like 3 or 4
It's not.
sarcastic comments that I rejected to say this.
Well, regardless of your reason for coming, I'm still here. You're still here. We're still here. We're together. Now, I want to end this winter, but I want to help you be whatever it is you want to be. I appreciate you don't know what that is yet.
Well, at least I know what I don't want to be.
That's a start.
That's a start.
It's a big start.
I'll go get a lot of sleep. All the sleep possible. Thank you for today, for taking me with you and trusting me.
Well, thanks for staying with us. I know it would have been easier just to put on a new face, become someone else and disappear, but I'm glad you stayed.
Yeah, I think I'm glad I stayed too. Wake me up if anything needs melting.
I will. I will. I'm sure it'll be fine. I get the feeling it'll be quite safe tonight.
Steve,
Hello.
I think I've learned how to play D&D.
Oh, cool.
Can I cast Sending
You
again?
want to tell me? Yeah, sure. You've got the slots.
Mert, back in Waterdeep. Because
Yeah.
I have those connections, fucking use them.
Yeah, sure. Mert.
With Bellin of Arcane Brotherhood, looking for Codicil of the White. Don't trust her. Know anything? P.S. Saved 10 towns. Dragon
Is that
needs help.
Okay.
I've already told Priesty guys, so they must know.
That news would have got that far south, because a lot of the roads are closed, aren't they?
No, but I did use Ascending before. To get
Oh, to
I don't know.
to your church.
To my church to send help. Yeah.
You hear a message back. Oh, I've seen the church mobilizing already. Assumed it was you and your crew. The Harpel runs. I'll look into it, but I wouldn't expect much. I'll send word.
Okay. I mean, everyone's gone to sleep now.
Make a note of that. Got some info for you.
It's just because you never have chance to actually use Sending, because you're always saving it for healing or fireballs or whatever.
What? I don't want to message these people. Cass wants to message her mum.
Oh.
And Veronica
Do
just
one
wants to
more.
make the DM roleplay characters that he hasn't remembered for a year or more.
Meeting Snitch's mum got her nostalgic.
Yeah, most people are drifting off to sleep. Neve, you're struggling. Mainly just the humming. It's not loud, but it's just consistent, droning humming.
Yeah.
You do find it difficult.
That's not ominous at all.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's quite local. Once you sit up and go, oh, where is that coming from? And it is localized. It's coming from one of the back rooms in the cabin where you're all in.
Is that just Locke who can hear that?
Yep.
I will wake up and I'll head towards the sound. Very slowly, stealthily, even.
Sound coming from this back room. I've deleted all the walls just so you can get around easier, but sound's coming from this back room here. Door's locked. You get to the door, the intensities. Like I say, it's not loud. It's not like trumpets blaring, but it's just a constant, like tinnitus.
Okay. Do I hear anyone else being awake?
Perception check, please.
Ooh.
Nice. Yeah, there are a few people awake, but it's mainly what you would expect. A few sentries trolling outside. You hear some of the wooden boards creak, and some of the wolves that the goblins have domesticated yip and howl from time to time. So there are people awake, sure. You don't think anyone else should be awake in this building?
That's the case. The door is locked.
Yeah.
Can I imagine another way in to that room?
Pick the lock, smash it.
So there's no windows for that room that I've noticed before walking around the facilities or anything like that.
You've not been able to get to the back because it's from the picture there. It's like overhangs a cliff, so you've only really been able to see it from the side.
Okay. So if I'm here, can I see outside, like right there? Is that the cliff going down, or is that a wall?
That's a cliff going up.
This
is a cliff going down. So that's a drop there.
That's a drop. Okay. So through that, would I be able to, if I was somehow able to navigate through that, get to the back of the room, or check around the room?
Yeah, if you can get there, you can take a look. Sure. You can fly.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Might not be worth it, but sure. I'm gonna telekinetically start hovering above the ground. Being the first time I'm doing this, and I'm gonna try to fly around the room.
Okay. Yeah, you use your hands to pull yourself across the wall. Make sure you don't drift off. There's lots of, it's not like a smooth structure by any means. So it's really easy to grab hold of it. You get to the back and you can kind of see it. There are no windows to speak of. They let way too much heat out, but the construction is shoddy enough that with the odd crack you can maybe catch glimpses inside.
What can I see?
From the limited glimpse you can see through cracks and the fact that it would be dark. You have dark vision?
Have goggles, I believe, that give you that vision.
Okay, yeah. You see more ramshackle mess, really. Lots of metal, half-built devices, lots of metallic contraptions and mess. It just looks like scrap, really.
Yeah.
You can see.
And there's just sound coming from there, but there's nothing moving in there, best I can see.
You can't see any movement from where you are now.
Is there light inside the room? You said there's no light. It's just,
Well, actually, there is a little bit of light. You can see. It's kind of a diffuse light, but quite local and quite small. You can't quite really make out the shape of the room, but yeah, it's coming from over one corner. Kind of like a dull yellow light.
right. If I can see inside, can I cast Mage Hand inside the room?
Yeah.
So it's invisible, I think. No, it's not invisible. What is it? I think mine is invisible.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, I'll use it to nudge on the door from the inside.
Through the crack, you can see there's a few latches, so it wouldn't be locked per se with a typical key lock, but latched. And with your mage hand, you can easily undo those.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, done.
Yeah. Then I will fly back on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
and I will, for a moment, think, maybe I should get everyone else, but then just go in anyway.
The summer star all over again. Right, everybody tell me where you're sleeping. I need to see where everybody is on the map.
It's always good news, that.
This is not good.
Second
So,
most
I
safe
know,
finance behind.
I know
Hey,
Snitch,
wait,
you're over with your family way over there, aren't you? Yeah, that's it.
Well, Eris fell asleep on Tok, so he probably would just stay wherever that was and wouldn't move.
I was thinking that we were in the building because we
Yeah.
said
So,
that we
so
could
put
sleep
yourselves where
separate.
you were maybe having the conversations.
Would we maybe be where the fire is, but not where with all of these people? Or maybe we would meeting the foe.
Maybe.
I was hoping I could notice through the stream, but I can't see it. Just see the little torchlights. I just
Okay.
like to pretend.
It's cute.
Everyone happy?
Yeah.
About where I'm stood or about what's happening?
where you stood. I know you're not happy about the situation.
Listen for the explosions.
Yeah, you find your way into the room. Again, yeah, it's just half dismantled objects, contraptions, devices, mostly like clockwork. Don't really understand most of it. If it was being assembled or dismantled, or he was a gnome, you would kind of expect it. Something that stands out a little bit more than everything else is, I mean, it's still a metallic, like box, but it stands out because it doesn't follow the same sort of angular geometry that everything else has got. Sort of straight lines, machined, and angled sharp corners, and smooth, and springs and gables. This is really, really smooth, mirror polished, and it almost has like an ovoid egg shape. And you would imagine that if Yarbnock was standing next to it, it'd be about as tall as him. The Guardian would have seen Locke. He wasn't being stealthy, but did you program him to stamp his feet at anybody other than the party coming close?
Yeah, if I realise I should have done this. If I was being specific, I would have introduced the Guardian to all the members of the party and said, anyone other than this entering,
Yeah.
stamp your feet.
Never include Locke in.
Yeah, I know.
Just the inner circle.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Don't get himself in trouble.
He'll be fine.
It's Locke. That's what he does.
Not like it's a giant oval thing that could power word kill him or something.
No.
Do you want to make an investigation check just to search the room, or are you focusing solely on this crate, egg crate, or? Lost him?
Oh, is he
Oh, he's
gone?
muted.
Sorry. Yes, I'm mostly intrigued by the egg, but I definitely want to get in the room. I'm just currently out of the game, trying to get back in. So
See what your passive investigation is. Oops.
that's not good. I'm finding log on the beyond, so I can.
Yeah, it's not good. It's only 9. Yeah, your curiosity kind of directs you straight to the unusual thing. And you can see this is where the light source was coming from. As you get closer to it, you can see there's almost like a panel near the bottom.
Okay.
And it's got like 9 squares arranged evenly towards it's a keypad.
Okay. Considering
does-
which is
does
from,
have
would
a
not kind of understand what that is. Is the technology still a bit more advanced?
You can make a history check.
I'm back.
No.
Okay.
You just know it's fascinating, and the noise is pissing you off.
Yeah. So there's 9 squares arranged neatly like a keyboard. Are they all identical to each other?
Yeah. Each of them have this soft glow. You've got like braille, like bumps on them.
Yeah.
You do see as you're looking at them and you're close up now in this soft light that there are a few sort of black marks around it and sort of drifting up, and it's reminiscent to you of like flame damage, or it would be damage. But you imagine if you was to wipe it away, there'd probably be no damage underneath. There's no dents or scratches in it at all.
Basically, someone trying to get into it, or
It would seem like it, yeah.
okay. Can I, with my mage hand, press one of the buttons?
Yeah.
So how are they arranged? Are they arranged like 2 lines or circular?
3, 3, 3. Like a
3, 3.
telephone, an old telephone, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Can I try to press the top left?
Yeah. Like you depress it.
Yeah.
The light winks off, on. You wait a moment. Nothing seems to happen.
Do this thing. Nian's curious about the fact that he's the only one hearing it. He feels a little bit concerned. Does want to possibly implicate anyone else in this mess if it's his mess in any way, shape, or form. What else? Can I use prestidigitation to change its temperature? So chill it up and warm it up. And see
Sure.
if any of those things has an effect on it.
You can, and you do. And you see no noticeable change.
If I touch it, actually touch it with my hand, how does it feel?
It just feels like cool metal. Really, really smooth.
Like an egg.
Yeah.
Nice egg.
Yeah, like an egg. I mean, it does have a flat bottom, which stops it rolling around. And as you put your hand on it and kind of feel it, you feel a little. Oh, now that you rub your hand across, you feel like a little notch near the top. And on closer inspection, you see a few more. You imagine that it might open a bit like the petals of a flower, some way.
Yeah.
That's maybe where the aperture is, if it was to open.
Right. Would Locke understand that there's probably some sort of password he needs to press on the pad?
I would imagine so, yeah. He's not a dummy.
Yeah. I think at this point,
It actually, as you take your hand away, that's when you notice it's a little bit tacky, a little bit sticky. It looks like smooth, polished metal, but there's a resistance as you pull your hand away.
let's see. Resistance. Try to shake it. Maybe try to shake it a little bit. Just wiggle it about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it weighs around about the 250-pound mark. Quite heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as you push it and rock it, there is a slight movement from within. And you don't hear it so much as you feel the vibration of the movement. It's almost like you don't hear it with your ears, but you feel something moving inside, and it's almost like a slosh.
Yeah. Doesn't even guess there's probably something inside it, something growing inside it, something like that.
It's a guess, yeah.
He'd like to open it, definitely. He's not sure. In his head, I'm just trying to narrate what he's thinking, well, if this is if it's like the other thing they found that almost killed them, he doesn't want to bring anyone else into the room and possibly them getting hurt, but he's curious.
I knew he would be.
Yeah, he can't just ignore it. But he doesn't want to get anyone else hurt, but then he doesn't want to not touch it, and people are going to say not to touch it. So he's stuck. Oh, he's conflicted. We cut to the others while I'm thinking about it.
Everyone's sleeping. I don't think anybody's taking watches. I mean, we can leave it there for tonight if you want.
Everyone's sleeping.
It's 10 to 10 if you want to call it there, and you can think about if you want to wake anybody up or.
I'm not sure what he'd do. I'm really stuck on what he'd do at this point. I know what he'd do a few days ago.
Yeah, I know, it's to be easy.
How much has he evolved?
Mm.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll pick up on the egg conundrum next session.
Oh, that was
Nanu. They got Mork in it. Robin Williams.
Yeah. Happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah.
That's good. That good role playing, folks. Fair play to you.
So
Yeah.
it's sloshy inside.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What? Do you know what it is?
No, but it creeps me
No.
out.
Anything that's sloshy inside is not good.
No. Having alien flashbacks.
Franchise tie-in.
Yeah. Crossover. You're gonna. It's got Rye's arm in it, probably.
And the
Flew off
multiverse
into space and
expands.
landed in Icewind Dale.
I hope you goblin folk got some resolution from there of a sort.
Well done, goblins.
Yeah, you were right. He was going off the cliff.
I wanted him to.
deserved it. It was the. I was slightly expecting him to get torn apart before he got there. He was just beaten to death instead.
Yeah, I was thinking that might happen.
So it
Right.
was like, do I just lower him? I was like,
I can't stop this.
It was like, oh well, this is happening. Right, I'm going to stop the stream. Any last words?
No.
if you're gonna be a goblin, be a good one.
Snubsuck.
Nubsock is the
Nubsock.
word of the week.
Sounds like I thought his name was Knobsock at one point. Which
D&D
was
names.
slightly better than what V thought it was.